always. I'm extremely grateful for the role that everyone has played throughout the years. They have been happy years and years I'll remember with fondness. There you go.
Whoever's up next is going to have a hard time after that. Todd isn't here, but anything from ACT?
We just want to extend our congrats to Laura as well on her retirement.
Denise Arroyo, CSCA.
This is a hard act to follow, isn't it? I'd like to thank Mr. Joseph for his recommendations for the much-needed restoration tonight and the board for their support. It is not all the positions that were cut, but we do appreciate the positions that are on the board agenda tonight. Pat Miller. So, I met her in 1979. Okay, we were young and we were cute. Just like we are now. But, she, in the cabinet, she's Miss Chino. You're Mr. Chino, okay? But Pat, you're Miss Chino, okay? You've been here long time. Like I said, I've known her since 1979, and I wish you the best of luck in your retirement. I know you're going to enjoy your grandchild. I can hardly wait, someday. And you will truly be missed, okay? And I wish you the best of luck. And last, Mr. Joseph, happy birthday. Okay? Thank you.
Tomorrow. Thank you, Denise.
Ask me how old he was today. He couldn't remember.
Mr. Na, you have your light on?
So, Mr. Joseph, what are we doing tomorrow?
Having a Coke.
Okay. We should have a cake.
Yvette Farley from Champ? No. I don't see Mr. Duncan, but Chino City Council members? No.
No.
Art Bennett? Anyone from Chino Hills City Council? No. Mike Krieger or Ed Gray from the Fire Board? Mrs. Howie, do you have anything?
No report, but on behalf of Supervisor Heckman, I'd like to wish Pat the best. She certainly deserves it.
Thank you. We are now at comments from the audience on items not on the agenda. Pat, are there any requests to speak on non-agenda items?
Just one request to speak.
One request. Speakers will be called in the order the request was received. Please listen for your name and be prepared to approach the podium. Any comments on agenda items will be accepted during consideration of that item. Once the board has commenced deliberations on a particular issue, speaker cards will not be accepted. The board is very interested in your comments, but please bear in mind that the board typically does not respond to comments during this time on the agenda, as it is reserved specifically for public comments. Individual members may respond during board member comments at the end. Mrs. Orozco, will you please explain the light system?
Yes, speakers, you will have 3 minutes in which to make your comments. Please begin your comments when the light turns green. When the light turns yellow, you will have 30 seconds left. And when the light turns red, that indicates that your time is over. Please be sure to adjust the microphone so that you can be heard clearly.
Speakers, please remember that in accordance with Board Bylaw 9323 bylaws of the board meeting conduct, limit remarks to 3 minutes total for all remarks. If a topic has been covered, please limit remarks to new points. The board would like to remind you that there is an existing board policy 1312.1 for anyone who wishes to file a complaint against a district employee. Please follow that procedure. The first speaker is Joanne Schultz.
Good evening. My remarks sort of echo, I think, what Mr. Cruz said earlier in regards to, I think that it all starts with how we treat each other. On September 4th, 2008, the Board of the Chino Valley Unified School District passed Resolution 2008-2009-6 supporting Proposition 8, the California Marriage Protection Act, which provided that only marriage between a man and a woman was valid or recognized in California. Now, this proposition was subsequently determined unconstitutional by U.S. District Court on August 4th, 2010, and on June 26, 2015, the U.S. Supreme Court made same-sex marriage a right nationwide. Now that the courts have determined that this proposition was harmful and illegal, it is time for the Chino Valley Unified School District to officially rescind this position and recognize its mission to serve all of its families. Passing this resolution was a wrong-headed stand on an issue that required no action. Like Prop 8 itself, the board resolution benefited no one. It only caused harm. With this resolution, the board sent the message to families with same-sex parents that the district saw these parents and their children as lesser. Rather than serve all parents and children in the district, they sent a message of exclusion and devaluation. So much time and effort is being spent to discourage bullying of students who seem different. But we can't pass resolutions like this and then wonder why our children exclude and demean their classmates. We should take this opportunity to set an example for our children. We need to model the behavior that we want to see. Now, we know now that the school board's action put our community on the wrong side of history. And even though it's unconstitutional, this position remains district policy. And we can't allow this message to remain. The state of South Carolina recently reminded us that it's never too late to act. It is time for the board to rescind this resolution and plainly state that it serves all the students and families in its community. I urge the board to pass this resolution. Whereas CVUSD serves the students and their parents with civility and humility, now therefore we rescind Resolution 2008-2009-6 and recognize our mission to serve all families of our community equally. I look forward to your action on this matter.
Thank you.
We are now at changes and deletions. Pat, are there any changes or deletions?
The following changes are on the agenda. Administration, item 2A1, page 1, correct subject line to read approval of budget expenditure items. Facilities planning operations, item 3E2, agreements for contractor consultant services, page 92, amend contract S1516-002 to read contract amount of $5,090. Page 101, delete contract MC-1516-042, Carrie Manwaring, and page 103, amend contract MC-1516-062 to read to provide DJ services. Human Resources, item 3F1, certificated personnel items, page 132, under appointment, summer school teachers, Manuel Saez, correct location to read Chino High School.
Is his name correct here?
Mm-hmm.
No, N?
Manuel.
Oh, it is Manuel.
Yeah,
There is no N.
that's fine. It's Manuel Saez.
Okay, we don't have it spelled correctly.
And
It'll
yet-
be on the record as
and-
the
Correct.
location is corrected.
Got it. We are now at action items. Public comments will be heard prior to consideration of the item. Pat, please announce the evening's only action item.
Item 2A1, approval of budget expenditure items.
This is to recommend the Board of Education approve the superintendent's budget expenditure items. Are there any speakers?
No request to speak.
Do all the board members have? I have it. Right, but first I want to know
So
if
moved.
I want to know if they each received a copy of your recommendations.
It's an agenda.
It's in the agenda. Okay,
Yeah.
just making sure. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Mr.
Second.
Knott? Seconded by Mrs. Orozco. Go ahead,
Madam
Mr.
President, may I make
Yes.
a recommendation?
Yes.
I would recommend that you handle this action item the way you handle consent items, to ask the board if they have any pulls from this item where they would maybe want clarification on the item, and then to approve the other items and come back to the items that have been pulled.
I know you have it. Does he have it? Mr. Nah, you have your list ready?
On page 2, behind action. So in action, one word, see the blue section, action? And then right behind it.
Okay. So in looking at the recommended items, are there any pulls?
I have none.
No, I have none.
Okay. All in favor? Oh, do you want, since we're not pulling any, then we can approve them all as a slate. Got it.
Yes.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Unanimous vote. We are now at consent. Pat, are there any speakers on consent items? Board members, do you have any pulls? Mr. Cruz?
Yes. Boy, that was fast.
I'm sorry. Oh, we only had one action item.
111E2
3E2.
3E2, page.
and
What's your page
oh,
number,
I'm
Mr.
sorry,
Cruz? That's okay.
page 96,
Got it.
and then 4A1
4A, is that information?
That's an information.
information item.
Okay, so
That's
let's
it.
cross that one off. So 3E2, page 96. Mrs. Fikes?
3B3, page 22. 3C1, page 38 and 39, page 43 and 51. 3E2, page 97, so I guess a different page than Mr. Cruz.
Or he probably read the page number it begins on.
Okay, and 3F8, page 162 and 3.
Page 162 and 163. Mr. Na?
I have no pulls.
Mrs. Orozco?
None.
And I don't have any. For the remainder of the consent items, may I have a motion?
So moved.
Mr. Na?
Second.
Mrs. Orozco? Any comments or discussion on the remaining items? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? 5-0. Okay, we'll start off with Mr. Cruz, 3E2, page 96.
Dr. Enfield? Yeah, I know.
So moved.
Oh.
Second.
Thank you.
I know districts are moving towards is it a management system, Haiku, learning system? And I noticed districts are moving towards that, and it's becoming very popular. And I noticed that we're moving towards and implementing this Haiku in a bigger perspective. Can you elaborate the positiveness of Haiku?
Yeah, we're bringing it forward because we're looking at putting our ELA units of study on that, and it allows teachers to collaborate through that. So we're rolling it out slowly.